over to a film montage. Scotland pivoted to a virtual world in 2020, hardly missing a beat. And as we look this morning to Scotland 2021, we highlight in this short film montage some leading events that will be taking place, be it virtually or in person, in 2021. We will spotlight in the montage Edinburgh and the Edinburgh Tattoo and Fringe Festival. We will then go to Glasgow and Celtic Connections Music Festival, which will kick off in 2021 in January. We will join Mary Meanders on their Mary Queen of Scots tour, over then to Burns Cottage in Ayrshire, before hearing news from the National Trust for Scotland of Culloden, and then to Abbotsford, as they celebrate, as we've just heard, the 250th anniversary of Sir Walter Scott, and finally to hear of the Inverness Castle and area developments. And all of this and more before we discuss it in the panel that will be following shortly. Thank you.
Scotland the brave.
The Fringe not taking place for the first time in 73 years has been devastating for the countless artists, venues, creatives, workers and small businesses who pour their blood, sweat and tears into creating what is the greatest celebration of arts and culture on our planet. The thousands of artists and venues who made up the Fringe really need your help and support to ensure that we can come back stronger than ever in 2021. These people make your Fringe, and we need to help them. You can help ensure that there is a Fringe to come back to by getting involved with the Edinburgh Festival Fringe Maker campaign, where every penny goes towards supporting Fringe artists and venues. Please dig deep and donate now. Check out the full digital programme and the ways you can support by visiting crowdfund.edfringe.com.
Hello, I'm Shona, the Chief Executive at the Fringe Society. I wanted to take a moment to tell you personally about the journey travelled since the announcement with our sister summer festivals in Edinburgh that the festivals wouldn't be able to go ahead this year. On a personal note, I vividly remember the very last gathering of the Fringe team in our little Fringe shop on the high street and seeing the real kind of worry and apprehension in people's faces. Real concern. We didn't know at that stage, like everyone else, how long the pandemic would last, what effect it would have on us personally, what effect it would have on our family and friends, and what impact it would have on our entire network of colleagues, artists and companies across the whole Fringe network. What we did know was that there would be enormous challenges, personally, professionally, emotionally. And we made a commitment that day that we would, whatever faced us, we would try to come out the other side of it with our compassion and our humanity intact. The year has taught us so much already. We have learned that working together, working collectively is a very powerful thing. We've learned that the most important thing is the shows and the artists, and that's where we wanted to put our emphasis and our support. And we've also really learned that the power of coming together as a sector is a beautiful and powerful thing. Our absolute priority was to ensure that we could refund all of the artists and companies. In doing that, it quite literally meant that the Fringe Society had no income in 2020 and were unable to generate income, and were therefore quite literally facing insolvency. We set out on a parallel process, first and foremost to advocate and lobby for new investment into our sector to support Fringe artists, companies and venues and the wider cultural sector to survive the pandemic. And secondly, to ensure the survival of the Fringe Society itself. We immediately cut all non-core costs and furloughed out 70% of our team. In recognition of the role that the Fringe Society plays in underpinning the Fringe Festival, and also in recognition of the social, cultural and economic impact of the Fringe across Scotland, Scottish Government set up a resilience group made up of the key agencies, City of Edinburgh Council, Scottish Government itself, Creative Scotland and Scottish Enterprise. And they worked with our team to ensure that the Fringe Society could survive, providing us with a £1 million loan that would be repayable over 6 years. City of Edinburgh Council also gave the Fringe Society a £100,000 grant to ensure that we could continue to refund the artists and to support the artists and companies and retain the essential infrastructure to make sure that the Fringe could come back strong in 2021. Throughout this process, we have been active and vocal in amplifying the catastrophic effects that the pandemic has had on Fringe companies, artists, venues and the wider cultural sector. We submitted evidence to Scottish Parliament, we submitted evidence to UK Government and DCMS, and we were a very active part of the Creative Industries Federation campaign. It's been really heartening to see the new funding announcements from both Scottish and UK Government, and we will continue to be at the table and to be very proactive in making the case that this funding has to be open to and available to those Fringe artists, companies and venues who are at greatest risk. I guess my last word is to remind all of us of the power of the collective, that we are a community, and this is a test of us as a community and a sector to come together, to trust each other, to learn from each other, to listen and to help each other come out the other side of this with, as I said at the start, our compassion and our humanity intact. I really look forward to working with you on this year's Edinburgh Fringe. I know it's not the real experience, and I hope to see some of your faces in the virtual landscape. But more than anything else, I invite you to help us as we future cast and really think about what the Fringe looks like in 2021 and beyond. We want it to come back as the best possible version of itself, a version of the Fringe that fits with a 21st century society. And I'd really invite you to be part of that conversation.
New day's begun. She walks in the sun and watches the waves roll by. She follows her dreams, and real as it seems, she floats in a cloud in the sky. Go easy on him, he's falling within. The wind shook the trees, and he came to his knees, and he swore he could hear the moon cry. He made his way home and set out alone with a glimmer of hope in his eye. Go easy on him, he's falling within. So softly she writes the hurt that he hides, and it's not so easy to push it aside. It's not so easy to move with the tide.
spirit of the Highlands. What is it? Is it the land, the people, the sights, sounds and smells? All of these and more. The spirit is captured in its stories.
Agus san tír seo has scéalach gabhair sanna thuúlacáil.
Stories about remarkable people doing amazing things.
And everyday folk doing everyday things.
Each of them adding to the ever-growing story of the Highlands.
How can you capture the spirit of a place that's so diverse? That's what the Spirit of the Highlands project, including the transformation of Inverness Castle, aims to do.
Stories are everywhere. They're in our music. People writing and singing about the places where they were brought up.
No for let fuidio enecht.
Folk telling stories to one another about their past and our future.
Stories that are captured in film and photos, memories of small moments.
And unforgettable events, people living and playing as they've done for generations.
Everything changes, everything moves forward and new stories are always being made.
It's the brilliant thing about the Highlands. Everywhere and everyone has a story to tell.
Including you. And we'd like to share it with the world. Through the Spirit of the Highlands, your inspiring stories of the area will power the imagination of visitors and locals alike.
They can be down to earth or pie in the sky, but they should capture something of the spirit of the Highlands.
Maybe it's a story that's been passed down generations.
Or one about the future, about where this beautiful area is going.
A story with a bit of soul, a bit of character, and something incredible.
Good to give you na horan, no faun, no shan scalach duchel, man skidak.
Something that's touched your heart or made you think.
It might be an inspiring person from recent times or from history.
Or something quite personal to you and your family.
An image of something or a photo that captures the essence of the area for you.
Maybe seeing things from a new perspective.
A fresh take on an old story.
Anything that captures the spirit of the Highlands for you.
Han spirit láidir ar Gaeltach.
We want to gather your stories of your Highlands. Share them now at spiritofthehighlands.com.